Okay, so as you'll see in a second, the verse of the day is going to say Tuesday. Yeah, so I may or may not have forgotten to read on Monday, but it's okay. We'll read twice on Tuesday. So we're going to do a verse of the day on Tuesday, just to get a different one, even though it'd be. Anyways, let's do the verse of the day. Okay, so the verse of the day for Tuesday, November 25th, 2025 is the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is my stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? All right, to me, this one actually kind of hits because it's like what's the point of being afraid if you just trust in God, you'll be saved. Like there's been times where I've been like, dude, we've all been a little bit scared of the dark at sometimes. And it's just like I just gotta trust in God for real. It's God's plan. Anyways, let's read the thoughts on today's verse. I'm not gonna lie, I read the thoughts of today's verse and they were just yapping. So yeah, all right, time to read. All right. So last week we read to 22:12, and this week we read until 32:16 Genesis. Made some decent progress. Couldn't read Saturday, as you'll see. But yeah, week 48 done. I think I probably should make these videos better quality, but that's a next week problem. So yeah, hope it'll improve over time for sure. But yeah, God bless. Love you guys. All right, we're getting to the sacrifice of Isaac. Yeah, R.I.P. Chat. I died. All right, so I just read like the first oh shoot, I just read like the first paragraph of the sacrifice of Isaac, and basically God told him to sacrifice his son on an altar to him as an offering. And I'm not gonna lie, this is like basically one of the main disagreements I have with the Bible. Later, it said that like God, an angel tells him not to do it, and then gives him like a lamb or something. I'm pretty sure I haven't even got to that part yet, but I'm pretty sure that's what happens. Bro, if God came to me and told me to sacrifice my son, bro, I don't think I could do it. I really don't. I don't think I could kill my own. I'd be cooked. I don't know. I think that's immoral. I believe in God and I believe that He's good and just, but I don't believe that is good and just. To even ask someone to do that is immoral, in my opinion. Dude, Abraham didn't even like question. He didn't say like, "What? Why?" Or maybe he did and doesn't tell in the Bible, but there's like no question. He just does it. Just insane to me. I hate reading about that part because it always kind of like I still believe in God and I still believe He's just. That part makes my faith waver a little bit. Not gonna lie. Yeah, so I always thought that like Adam and Eve were the reason that didn't live long anymore. I guess that's what I was told. Why we don't live past like 100 and stuff. But like Abraham lived to 175, and I've been seeing a lot of people live past 100 in this. And so, when did that happen? I'm kind of curious now, but I'm sure it'll get discussed when I read it more. But interesting. Okay, I know it might get discussed when I read it, when I read further. But bro, what does selling your birthright mean? What's the birthright? So what the context is once when Jacob was cooking stew, Esau came in from the field and he was exhausted. So he was tired from being in the field. And he said to Jacob, "Let me eat some of that red stew, for I am exhausted." And Jacob said, "Sell me your birth right now." Or sell me your birth right now. And then Esau said, "I'm about to die. Of what use is birthright to me?" Bro, you worked in the field so hard you're about to die? Like, is he being dramatic? I'm so confused. And then he sold his birthright to Jacob for food. What does that even mean? Okay, so I'm reading about Isaac in the Bible and his two sons, and Rebecca, his wife. And Rebecca likes Jacob, and Isaac likes Esau, or whatever you say his name. So why? Why is that? Like, why do they not just love both sons? It's really weird to me. And then there's like this part where where Isaac wants to bless his son Esau, but he must be blind, realistic, and so he tells him to go get game. But then Rebecca overhears and tells Jacob the same thing, and then Jacob comes back and gets blessed. But that's so stupid. I feel like, why does he only love one son? That's just weird to me. All right, so like in my Bible, I don't know if it is in every Bible, but there's like a title of each like verse, kind of like to like each part of the story. And this one's called Jacob marries Leah and Rachel. Does that mean he's gonna marry both of them? As soon as Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother. So that would mean they're related too. But I guess it's a different time. They had less people. So I can understand it. Still a little, but I get it. It was not enough. I don't know. It's not as bad as it would be today for sure. Okay, so Laban said to Rachel, his mother's brother, because you are my kinsman, should you therefore serve me for nothing? Tell me, what shall your wages be? So I think he's saying like that you should serve me. What do I have to do? What do I have to do to get you to serve me? I think what he's saying. And Laban had two daughters. One was Leah, the older one, and Rachel was the younger one. And Jacob loved Rachel. And Jacob told Laban, I will serve you 7 years for your younger daughter Rachel. And then Laban said that he'd do that. And then Jacob served 7 years for Rachel. Bro, I ain't doing all that. That's a lot of time. 7 years? I'm just downloading Tinder. Okay, and then Laban did some scheming and said, or not and said, but he brought his daughter Leah to Jacob and he went into her. I'm not sure if like it was like he was confused or it was like the middle of the night or something. But in the morning, it was Leah, and Jacob said to Laban, why have you done this to me? Did I not serve you for Rachel? Why have you deceived me? And I guess Laban justified it by saying that the younger doesn't go before the older in his country. Complete the week of this one, and we will give you the other one also in return for serving me another 7 years. What? Complete the week of this one. So be for like a week? And then he got the Rachel as his wife too. So Jacob went into Rachel also. And he had to serve another 7 years to get Rachel. Wait, so he had to serve Rachel. So he had to serve 14 years for Rachel and Leah. But Leah was chopped. And then God, seeing that Leah was hated, in quotations, I don't think she was hated, just not as loved as much, probably. But he opened her womb and she had 4 boys. Or well, I don't know if they're all boys, but 4 kids. I mean, it was justified though. He only really loved one of them, but he just got the other one. So I get it. I understand. Okay, and then Rachel was jealous and said, "Give me children, or I shall die," which is kind of wild. And then she gave her servant Bilhah, and she said, "Go into her." This "go into her" stuff is so interesting. And she wants Jacob to impregnate her so that she can have kids to her. Oh my gosh. And then Leah did the same thing with her servant and gave her to and told Jacob to go into her, bro. This is like this is somebody's dream, bro. This would be awesome for someone. Bro, they actually had like 10 kids. It's actually ridiculous. Okay, so now Laban is like saying that Jacob stole all his sheep, but he let Jacob have all the sheep. I forgot to talk about that. But so now after 14 years of him serving him, he's gonna say that Jacob stole it, and now they're chasing them and stuff. It's kind of crazy. What a L mother's brother.